Welcome back, dear friends. It's a true joy to be together again, exploring the layers of inner transformation and spiritual awakening. Whether you've been walking this journey for many years or you're just beginning to explore the richness of the Buddhist path, I'm grateful you're here. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that is often overlooked but absolutely vital to spiritual growth: the power of speech, and more specifically, the moment when true practice begins, when we stop gossiping, slandering, and speaking with harm. In Buddhism, we often hear about meditation, compassion, wisdom, and the path to enlightenment. But what often slips through the cracks is the power of our words, the hidden force in our speech that can either build or destroy, connect or divide, liberate or bind. And in the Dhamma, the Buddha did not leave this to interpretation. He spoke clearly, often, and seriously about the consequences of speech. The truth is, your spiritual practice is not simply what you do on the cushion. It's not measured by the hours you sit, the mantras you chant, or the books you read. It is measured by the quality of your mind, moment to moment, especially in how you speak. So let's begin here with a question. What does your speech say about your mind? We live in a world where words are thrown around carelessly, from casual conversations to online posts, from family arguments to workplace chatter. We often speak without awareness. We gossip, we judge, we exaggerate, we complain. We speak to be heard, not to be helpful. And often, we speak not to connect, but to separate. Yet every word carries weight. Speech is karma. Every time we speak, we are planting a seed, and like any seed, it will eventually bear fruit. The question is, what kind of fruit do you want to harvest? The Buddha categorized speech as one of the three doors of calm: body, speech, and mind. And among these, speech is particularly dangerous because it acts as a bridge between thought and action. What you say can lead someone to joy or despair. It can build peace or ignite conflict. And perhaps most importantly, it shapes your own consciousness. Let's look at gossip. Why do we gossip? Usually, it's not because we hate the person we are speaking about. It's because we want to feel important. Gossip is a way of positioning ourselves above others. It says, "I know something you don't." It gives us a false sense of superiority. But at what cost? Every time we gossip, we damage trust. We pollute the mind. We reinforce separation. And even if the gossip seems harmless, it conditions the mind to judge, to compare, to focus on flaws. And eventually, we start speaking to ourselves the same way. We internalize the very harshness we project onto others. Now consider slander: deliberately speaking to divide people, to sow mistrust, to harm reputations. It is one of the most destructive forms of speech. In the Sangha, the monastic community, slander is considered a grave offense because it disrupts harmony. And what is harmony, if not the soil in which practice grows? But harmful speech goes beyond gossip and slander. It includes sarcasm used to belittle. It includes passive-aggressive remarks. It includes speaking in anger, in manipulation, in ego. Even tone matters. Even silence can be used to hurt when weaponized with intention. So where does true practice begin? It begins when we realize that everything we say is a reflection of our inner state. If we want to purify our mind, we must purify our mouth. When we stop speaking harmful lie, something shifts. The mind begins to settle. The heart begins to open. We become more aware of what's arising within. Because to watch speech is to watch the mind. Imagine this: every time you're about to speak, you pause. You ask, is this true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it timely? Is it helpful? These 5 reflections are ancient tools for mindful speech. And if your words pass all 5 gates, they are likely to be words that heal, that unite, that uplift. But this isn't easy. especially in moments of conflict, in moments of emotion. That's why speech training is one of the highest disciplines. Anyone can chant when things are calm, but who can hold their tongue when their ego is threatened? And that's why restraint is power. Restraint doesn't mean suppression. It means awareness. It means seeing the anger rise, the desire to lash out, and choosing instead to breathe, to observe, to hold space. This is where the real work happens, not on a mountaintop, but in a conversation, in a misunderstanding, in a fight with your partner, in a meeting with your boss, in a moment when you want to be right and instead choose to be kind. This is spiritual maturity. And this is why great masters say the mouth is harder to tame than the mind, because the mouth is quicker. By the time you're aware of what you said, it's already out there, and you can't take it back. So the first step is slowing down. Listen more than you speak. Reflect more than you react. When someone criticizes you, pause. When someone gossips, change the subject. When you feel hurt, name your emotion without blaming. And yes, you will fail. You will say the wrong thing. You will hurt others. You will regret. But that too is part of the practice. Regret can be a doorway to resolve. Apologize sincerely. Learn. Begin again. One of the most beautiful transformations comes when you start using speech as a tool for healing. Imagine becoming someone whose words always uplift, who, when they speak, people feel safe, seen, soothed. This is not a gift, it's a practice, a commitment, a discipline. Start small. Compliment someone today, genuinely. Say thank you with your full attention. Speak kindly about someone behind their back. Offer words of encouragement. And just as important, when you're about to speak in anger, stop. When you're about to judge, soften. When you want to gossip, stay silent. The more you do this, the more you'll notice your inner world change. Your thoughts will soften. Your judgments will slow. Your compassion will grow. Your relationships will deepen. And eventually, the utter silence will lead to inner silence. Not empty, but full of presence. This is why silence is revered in so many traditions, because in silence, the mind is revealed. And from that stillness, true speech rises not from ego, but from wisdom. So the next time you wonder where to start your spiritual practice, start with your speech. Start with your mouth. And you'll find that everything else follows. Thank you for being part of this honest conversation today. If these reflections touched you, please share your experiences in the comments. What have you noticed about the impact of speech in your life? How have you learned to speak more mindfully? Let's support each other in this journey of conscious communication. If this message resonated with you, please like the video, subscribe for more Dharma-based insights, and share it with someone who might benefit from these words. Thank you for watching this video. May your words be gentle, your mind be clear, and your heart be full of peace.